Good morning, friends. Welcome back to another math lesson. Happy Tuesday. Today, we're going to be practicing counting on and counting back to help us with subtraction problems. Now, before we get started with our visual learning video, we have one vocab word that we need to make sure we know before we get started. Our vocabulary word is difference. So the difference is the answer to a subtraction equation. So remember, this is an equation, so 3 minus 2 equals 1. That's an equation, okay? The same thing for an addition equation. That would be something like 3 plus 2 equals 5. That's an equation, okay? So the answer to a subtraction equation is called a difference. So in this case, 3 minus 2 equals 1. 1 is our difference. It's our answer to our subtraction problem. Now let's go watch our visual learning video.
You can count on or count back to subtract on an open number line. Do you think you will get the same answer whether you count on or count back? Let's find out. Find 10 minus 4.
You can count on to subtract. Draw each move as you count.
Start with the lesser number. Count on to 10 to find the difference. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You count on 6 spaces to get from 4 to 10. So 10 minus 4 equals 6. You can also count back to subtract. Start with the greater number. Count back 4 spaces. 9, 8, 7, 6. You land on 6, so 10 minus 4 equals 6.
Let's try it. Drag the dot to show counting on to find the difference. So we're going to count on first. So we're going to count on from 4 until we get to 10. Oh. So we counted on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. So 10 minus 4 equals 6.
Counting on and counting back give you the same answer.
Okay, now that we watched our visual learning video, make sure you have your workbook and your pencil and turn to page 30. Remember, hit pause if you need to go get your workbook or need to turn to page 30. Okay, let's do the guided practice problems together on page 30. So if we read the directions, it says count on or count back to subtract. Show your work on the number line. Now I can see that the way that they put their little jumps here for us, they want us to try counting back on this one. So to count back, we start at the bigger number and we jump backwards this many spaces. So we start at 11 and we're going to jump back 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We landed on 7. So that means 7 is our answer. Remember, when I'm doing these problems in the workbook, make sure that you're writing down the problems and the answers as well. So that way you can use these to help you do your own problems later on. Let's go down to number 2. Since we did counting back on number 1, let's count on for number 2. Okay, so it says 14 minus 7. So to count on, we need to start at the smallest number. So we're going to start at 7, and we're going to make jumps until we reach 14. So let's go ahead and make jumps, and we'll count as we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I made 7 jumps to get to 14. So my answer is 7. Okay. So that's how we count on and how we can count back to help us subtract using a number line. Now let me read the do you understand problem. It says, how can you count back on a number line to find 9 minus 5? So I want you to pause the video and I want you to do the do you understand problem all by yourself. You will need to draw a number line and I want you to try and solve 9 minus 5 by counting back on the number line, okay? When you're done, hit play and we'll do it together. Okay, I drew a number line over here. Now look at my number line. My number line is not perfect, okay? And that's all right. You just have to do your best when you draw your number line. Now I'm using a computer, so it's kind of tricky for me, but if this is what your number line looks like, that's totally okay, as long as you have the right numbers. So remember, when we are counting back, we're gonna start at the bigger number, the greater number, and we're gonna count back this many spaces, the smaller number. So we're gonna count back 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I landed on 4. That means my answer to this problem is 4. Okay, I'm going to write what our answer is. I can start at 9 and count back 5 moves until I reach 4. So that's how we would explain how to count back on a number line to solve or to find 9 minus 5 equals 4. Let's go watch another video.
If you're ever having trouble subtracting 2 numbers, you can always count on to figure it out. Like 8 minus 3. On a number line, start at the smaller number, 3. Then count on to 8 in order to find the difference. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, look at that. It took us 5 moves to count to 8. So that must mean that 8 minus 3 equals 5. Let's see if we can count back and get the same answer. This time, start at the greater number, 8. Here we go. 7, 6, 5. 8 minus 3 equals 5. So whether you count on or count back, you'll always get the same answer.
Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page and do some problems together. Okay, we're going to do number 3 together. It says count on or count back to subtract. Show your work on the number line. So let's count on. Remember, when we're counting on, we're starting at the smaller number. So we're going to start at 8, and we're going to count on until we get to 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it took me 6 moves to get to 14. So that means 14 minus 8, our difference is 6. That's our answer. Let's really quickly check our answer of 6 for number 3 by also counting back. So remember to count back. We're going to start at the bigger number, and we're going to count back 8 spaces, because that's the smaller number. So we're starting with the bigger number and we're going to count back 8 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I went back 8 spaces and I landed on 6, so that's my answer. So no matter whether we count on or we count back, 14 minus 8 equals 6. Our difference is 6. Okay, I want you to pause the video and do number 4 all by yourself. You can count on or count back, it's up to you, and then come back to me after you hit play and we'll check your work. Okay, let's look at number 4. I'm going to start by doing counting on for number 4. So 12 minus 7. Remember, I'm going to start at the smaller number, and I'm going to count on until I get to 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took me 5 moves to get to 12, so that means my answer to 12 minus 7, my difference, is 5. Now let's check your work if you did counting back. If you did counting back, you should have started at 12, because that's the bigger number, the greater number, and counted backwards 7 spaces, 7 moves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I counted back 7 moves and I landed on 5, so my answer is still 5. Okay, let's look at number 7 together. Okay, so it says, how can you count on to find 13 minus 4? I'm going to use the number line up here, right here, to do the problem, to show you. So if we're going to count on, we're going to start at the smaller number, which is 4, and we're going to count on until we get to 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it took me 9 moves. So my answer is 9. So let's explain what we did. I can use a number line to start at 4. Then I can count on until I reach 13, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can count how many moves it takes. It takes 9 moves, so 13 minus 4 equals 9. So that's how we can explain how to use a number line to count on to find 13 minus 4. Let's turn the page. Okay, we're going to do number 8 together, and then you're going to do number 9 by yourself. Number 8 says, Callie had 8 seeds. She planted 2 of the seeds. How many seeds does she have now? So if you plant seeds in the ground, that means you don't have them in your hand anymore, which means that we are subtracting. So we are doing 8 minus 2. Okay, that's our problem. That's our equation that we are trying to solve. Now we can use a number line for this. Okay, I drew a real quick number line. Notice it's not perfect, but it takes me from 0 all the way up to my biggest number, which is the most important part when you're drawing a number line, okay? So my biggest number in this problem was 8, so I drew my number line, so it goes 0 all the way up to 8. Now I'm just going to do counting backwards for this problem. So to count back, I'm going to start at the bigger number, 8, and I'm going to count back 2 spaces and see what number I land on, and that will be my answer, my difference. So 1, 2, okay? I landed on 6, which means my difference is 6. That's my answer. So now she has 6 seeds. Okay, I want you to pause the video and go to number 9. It says, Peter has 16 grapes. He eats some of the grapes. Peter has 10 grapes left. How many grapes did Peter eat? Okay, go ahead and go try it and then come back to me and we'll check your work. Okay, let's take a look at number 9. Now I drew a number line to help me solve this problem. So Peter started with 16 grapes. So I know he started with 16 grapes. And then he ended up having 10 grapes left when he was done eating some of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count on from 10 until I get to 16 so I can find out how many grapes he ate. So I'm going to start at 10 and I'm going to count on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So there were 6 grapes that he ate. So 16 minus 6 grapes equals 10 left. So he ate 6 grapes. Good job today, friends, practicing counting on and counting back to help us subtract on a number line. Here's your assignment for today. So remember the very first thing, you're going to do some problems in your workbook. Today you're going to do numbers 5, 6, 10, and 11. So if you need to pause the video and write those down or circle the numbers in your workbook so you don't forget, you can pause the video and do that now. Then when you're done with your workbook, you need to go on your Google Classroom or go onto your math website and do your quick check for today. Your teacher probably has it under today's date, just like normal. And then if you have time left in your hour-long math block, you can go ahead and hop on MathFacts Pro and practice those addition problems, okay? So good job, you guys. I will see you tomorrow for another math video. Bye.